Namaste. Okay, give me some time to set up. Sorry. I do this little silly, what you might call this, barcode thing, QR code. I mean, it expires like a few hours, almost like you're watching right now. It's completely useless. What do I do? I don't know. Okay, first up is Yoga Sutra. Book 1, Sutra 51. Namaste. Kim Jang Siang Pavati Dasyang Pi Nirote Salva Nirotana Nilbang Bijah Salva Nirotana Nilbijah Samatih Iti Shri Patanjali Virachita Yoga Sutreshu Pratamaha Samatipadaha. So that ends the sutra itself. Now the comment. Sana Kevalam Samadhi Prajanya Viroti Prajanya Gurutang Namapi Samsukang Ranwam Pratibananti Pavati Kasamat Nirotajah Samsukang Rah Samadhi Janan Sama Samadhi Janan Samsukang Ranam Bhatatan Iti Nirotasatiti Kala Kramanu Pavana Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Nirotasatiti Kala Kramanu Pavana Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Nirotachita Takarata Samsut Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vanamanu Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasata Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Nirotachita Takarata Samsukang Rasatit Vamanu Mayama Vyudutana Nirota Samsukang Tipra Pavaih Saha Kaivalya Pagiyaih Samsukang Raishchitatam Sivasyam Prakratang Vasatitayam. Sorry, I have to read it again. I read it again when something constantly nags me. It won't disappear, so I have to read it again. Vyudutana Nirota Samsuk Vyudutana Nirota Samadhi Prabhavaih Saha Kaivalya Pagiyaih Samsukang Raishchitatam Sivasyam Prakratang Vavasatitayam Prakratang Vavasatitayam Praviliyate Tasmatata Samsukang Rasachitasyang Tikang Ravirotino Na Satiti Hetavo Pavananti Ti Yasamada Vasitang Tikang Ram Yasamada Vasitang Tikang Ram Saha Kaivalya Pagiyaih Samsukang Raishchitatam Divartate tasmina nivarotate purushaha savaru pamatra paratisha totaha shuddhataha kevalo mukatan iti ujyatan iti savaru pamatra paratisha totaha shuddhataha kevalo mukatan iti ujyatan iti. Oh, I just finished book 1. Okay. Iti, I'll read that at the end. So yeah, this is the end of book 1 today. What further does he gain? When this also is restricted, since all is restricted, seedless concentration. This is counter not only to concentrated insight, but is opposed even to subliminal impressions made in insight. Why? Because the subliminal impression produced by restriction inhibits the subliminal impressions produced by concentration. The existence of subliminal impressions made by the mind stuff in restriction may be inferred from the experience of the lapse of time during which there is stability of the restriction, together with the subliminal impressions which arise out of the emergent and restricted concentrations and which are conducive to isolation. The mind stuff resolves itself into its own permanent primary matter. Therefore, these subliminal impressions are counter to the mind stuff's task and are not causes of its stability. Consequently, its task ended, together with the subliminal impressions which are conducive to isolation, the mind stuff ceases. When it ceases, the self abides in himself and is therefore called pure and liberated. Iti Shri Pangatanjale Samkhya Parabhachane Yoga Shangsatre Shri Madhyasa Pashuye Pratamaha Samadhi Padaha. Of Patanjali's Yoga treatise entitled Exposition of Samkhya, the first book on concentration, with comments by Vyasa. With the comment on Vyasa. Okay, so that ends book 1. Next up is your Veda. So, if I'm correct in this theory, my theory is this: since I finished book 1 today, today and tomorrow is gonna be some auspicious days. Yeah, today and tomorrow there are gonna be some auspicious days. That's my theory, because Sanskrit, when anybody utters Aryan Sanskrit, the earth knew about it even before the creation of the world, something like that. So it's like uttering Aryan Sanskrit is very significant to the preservation of this reality, protection of this reality. Okay. And if it's a bad reality, out the bad reality, go and come good, better reality. Yeah, it's that significant. It's really significant. It gets rid of all the bad elements from life. All the atheistic elements are driven away by uttering Aryan Sanskrit. Intelligence. Is the exact opposite of ignorance. Veda, Hymn 20, Book 3. Namaste. Agni Musha Sama Shibina. Agni Musha Sama. Agni Musha Sama. Namaste. Agni Musha Sama Shibina. Tatikram. Bishutwishu. Havatem. Bahani Rugataiha. Sujyotisho Naha. Sharanam Banantu Devaha. Sajoshoso. Sajoshoso. Atvaram. Babashanaha. Agane. Tri. Te. Panjina. Tri. Shatasata. Tisurasate. Jihuvan. Ratajata. Bulviha. Tisuran. U. Te. Tananbo. Deva Banta Sata Pilnaha Bahi Giro Aparayochana Agane Puri Nui Davan Jantavedo Devan Sivatabo Morotasya Nama Yashijam Yashijam Mayam Mayinam Vishivaminam Bantave Pulviha Samdatuha Purashata Mananto Aganil Netan Paga Ivan Kushwiti Nam Taibi Nam Deva Ratupan Ratavan San Purottaraha Sanayo Vishivavedaha Paishadu Vishivanti Duritan Guru Nonantana Guru Nonantama Atikram Agni Musha Samjan Devim Purohasapatim Savitan Ramjan Devama Ashivinam Mitram Varunwa Pagam Jan Pasunan Rudrama Adityam Iha Huvet Okay. Thought I pronounced it wrong. Okay, I'm good. Namaste. I'm starting to feel that nobody believes in anything as much as I do believe in God. Not even the world's most religious person actually believes in God. They might believe in demons. Scary thought. Even King Yaoshan, that's Jesus' real name, he said, if the eyes of the body is full of darkness, then how much more darkness? Something like that. I'm just getting that, feeling that weight a little bit. I might be the only person who actually believes in God in this world. I mean, I'm comparing myself to the most religious people in the world, most specifically, most non-Jewish religious people in this world. They're not as religious as I am. Not even close, not even 1/16 part of my being religious is their religiosity. I'm talking about the top 1% of the most religious people in the world. I'm talking about the top 1% most religious people in the world. They're not even 1/16 part of my faith in God. It just struck me just now. I mean, for the last few days, it's been nagging at me. Now I just formed the conclusion right now. I'll say it one more time, just for the record, so it goes on video. The most non-Jewish religious people, the top 1% believers of this world who are non-Jewish, they're not even 1/16 part of my, even lack of faith. My faith, or my lack of faith. My faith in God is stronger than all of them, all of their faith combined, who are, the most top 1% most religious people in the world and non-Jewish. and combine all of their faith, it's not even 1/16th part of my faith in God. Fucking scary. You know, I'm just a peasant trying to heal. Anyway, okay. Hymn 20. With laws at break of morn, the priest invoketh Agni, Dawn, Tatigras, and both the Ashivins. With one consent, the gods whose light is splendid, longing to taste our sacrifice, shall hear us. 3 are thy powers, O Agni, 3 thy stations, 3 are thy tongues, ye many child of order. 3 bodies hast thou, which the gods delight in. With these protect our hymns with care unceasing. O Agni, many are the names thou bearest, immortal, God, divine, and Jata Vedas. And many charms of charmers, all inspirer, have they laid in thee, Lord of true attendants. Agni, like Paga, leads the godly people, he who is true to law and guards the seasons. Ancient, all-knowing, he the Vrutara slayer, shall bear the singer safe through every trouble. I call on Savitar the god, on morning, Brahaspati and Tatigras and Agni, on Varuna and Mitra, and the Ashvins, Paga, and the Vasus, Rudras, and Adityas. I might have exaggerated, but for the effect, that was what I was going for. I just got struck with this fact that none of the so-called religious people in this world actually... let me stop right there. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. Anyway, next is Chanandogiya Upanishad. Book 3, Kanrandva 14. Why don't they believe as much as I do? They start being children. Ha 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 ha, checkmate. Was it the Saivam, Karavidam, Brahma, Danjalaniti, Shanantan, Upasitan, Atan, Kalu, Gratumayahu, Purusho, Yatan Graturasami, Lulokem, Yatan Graturasami Lulokem, Purusho, Pavati, Tatatahu, Pratiyan, Pavati, San, Gratum, Gulvitan. Manomayaha, Prano Shariro, Parupaha, Satya Samkaripang, Akashatama, Salvakaima, Salvakamaha, Salvagadan, Salvaganantaha, Salvarasaha, Salvamidama Piat Tobankiana Daraha, Salvamidama Piat Tobankiana Daraha. Esho mang atamanan talduru huru atamanan talhuru dayanui yanam vri helvan atama esho mang atamanan talhuru dayanui yanam vri helvan yapan devan saishopan devan Shyama ka devan Shyama Katanandula de Baisho Shyama Katanandula de Baisho Ma Atamanantal Hurudayam Jyayana Pratibhyam Jnana는 tarikushon, jnana는 dibo. Jnana는 tarikushon, jnana는 dibo. Jnanapyo. Jnana는 tarikushon, jnana는 dibo. Jnanapyo. Lokapyaha. 살바까이망 살바까마흐 살바가는타흐 살바라사흐 살바미다마 살바미다마 피아트토바키아나다라 에셔마 아트마는 달흐르다야 에타드 브라흐마이타 미타흐 에타드 브라흐마이타 미타흐 브라티양 피삼피 밥 브라티양 피삼파비땅 스미티 Pratyang pisam pavitang samiti yasyang dadatang na vichikita sansatiti ha samaha shanandvilyaha iti chaturdashaha kanundoha Namaste. Verily, this whole world is Brahma, tranquil, let one worship it, as that from which it came forth, as that into which he will be dissolved, as that in which he breathes. Now verily, a person consists of purpose. According to the purpose which a person has in this world, thus does he become on departing hence. So let him form for himself a purpose. He who consists of mind, whose body is life, whose form is light, whose conception is truth, whose soul is space, containing all works, containing all desires, containing all odors, containing all tastes, encompassing this whole world, the unspeaking, the unconcerned. The soul of mind within the heart is smaller than a grain of rice, or a barley corn, or a mustard seed, or a grain of millet, or the kernel of a grain of millet. The soul of mind within the heart is greater than the earth, greater than the atmosphere, greater than the sky, greater than these worlds. Containing all works, containing all desires, containing all odors, containing all tastes, encompassing this whole world. The unspeaking, the unconcerned. This is the soul of mind. Within the heart, this is Brahma. Into him I shall enter on departing hence. If one would believe this, he would have no more doubt. Thus used Shanandvilya to say, ye Shanandvilya. Smaller than a grain of rice. Greater than the earth. The soul is smaller within the heart. The soul within the heart is smaller than a grain of rice, or a barley corn, or a mustard seed, or a grain of millet, or the kernel of a grain of millet. And also says, so the soul is greater than the earth, greater than the atmosphere, greater than the sky, greater than these worlds. Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. If I have time, I'll look at it later too. Okay. Next is Mahabharata. chapter 38. And the translation should be 42. 42, 38. 쉐랭은 기우방장. Okay. Yeah. Looks parallel. Namaste. This is gonna be fun. Namaste. 쉐랭은 기우방장. 야디에 따뜻사 하삼. 야디에 따뜻사 하삼 땅땅 야디 방 두시 그릇담 뿌리얌 방비야 뿌리얌 방때 방구그땅 나 모르쇼 마양 나이방냐 태담 파비땅 비따레쇼 브라비미테 나함 모르쇼 브라브라비미 스바레시바비 굿다흐 샤파느 샤미강 우방장 장나 미우그라 프라파밤 뜨밤 보트라 사티아기람 따탕에 나 느르땀 휴그다 보일밤 때 나이따는 미티앙에 파비시어티 비트렁에 보트로 바야 흐스토피 사타땀 방아지앙 에바투 야탕에 시아드구노 사미우그다흐 브라분우양 제장 마하디아샤흐 김 보네방알라 에방 뜨밤 따바성아 파비타흐 브라포 발타테 장 프라파바땅 고포티방 마하드마나암 소함 바시아미 바그다비암 뜨바이 탈마프르땅 바람 부트라트밤 바라땅 장이방 다바베쿠슈요 장 사하삼 상뜨밤 샤마유토 푸뜨밤 바니야마하라마하라누 자라 그로타미맘 디아크뜨밤 나이밤 탈맘 브라하시아시 그로토 히 탈맘 하라티 야티낭 두하카 산치땀 따또 탈마비히 낭 가티레슈투어 나 비디아테 샤마 에방 야티낭 히 구셔미누엄 시드티강아라카흐 구셔마 바땅마얌 로카흐 파라시장이방 구셔마 바땅 다스마 쩌짜르타흐 사타탐 구셔마 시로 지타난드리야흐 구셔마양 브라푸시앙스 로카는 브라흐마노흐 사마나는 따라는 마양 두 샤마마스탕양 야츠차키얌 깔투마디양 빠이 따뜻까리 슈여디양 땅땅함 브라셔이 슈여 늘어빵양 빠이 브라셔이 슈여 늘어빵양 빠이 마마 포트라노 샤프토시 바레나 그르다 부두티낭 마메망 다이쇼놈 뜨바뜨따흐 브라쿠쇼여 라자는 나말쇼이노 수땅 우방장 에바마디시양 시쇼염 상 브라셔양마상 수브라따흐 바리쿠쇼이테 느르바따예 Daya Panano Mahatapa Samdishya Kushala Prashinam Karya Puratatanam Tamevacham Shishuyam Gauramukam Nama Shilavanantam Samahitam Sophigamya Tataha Shikram Naranandram Guruvaitanam Vibesham Pavanam Ranjinyaha Purvam Devaha Satai Libeditaha Pujita Shichan Naranandrano Divijo Gauramukasatataha Ajakyao Parivishivan Parivishirananto Ranjinya Salvamasheshotaha Shami Gavachanam Koram Yatokatam Manantari Samnitao Shami Go Nama Rajanandra Vishoye Paitate Tavan Roshuiha Paramatalmatama Danantaha Shananto Mahatapaha Dasyan Devaya Naravyakram Saipaha Pranay Vyojitaha Avasakuto Tanushikotuya Sukanante Parata Satatama Gushanantabam Setavan Tatakaima Putra Satasyan Na Chakushamem Tena Shaputosi Rajanandran Piturajinya Atamadyan Vai Takushakaha Saputara Tereno Murotiyusute Vai Pavishyati Tatra Rakushwam Kurushubati Punaha Punaratha Bravit Tadanyatha Na Shakyam Cha Kaitum Kenachidapiyutam Na Hi Shakunoti Samyanantum Putram Kopasamanam Vitam Tatoham Prashvitasatanam Tava Rajanahita Tinam Iti Shrutava Pacho Koram Sa Rajan Guru Nanandanaha Pariyatapyatan Tatapam Krutava Rajan Mahatapaha Tam Jan Mauna Bharata Taram Shrutava Munivaram Dadam Puyang Eva Pavadranjan Shoka Samtaputama Nasaha Anukuroshantam Tasyan Shamikasya Vatariatu Pariyatapyatam Puyopi Krutavan Tatakiribishwam Muneha Na Hi Murotiyum Tatang Ranjan Shrutavan Pai Sonambatapyatam Ashochada Mara Prakyo Yatang Gurutaveha Kaima Tat Tatasatam Purashayama Rajan Gauramukham Tadang Puyaha Prasadam Bhagavan Karotaviti Mameti Vai Tasumim Shichang Katamatre Vai Rajan Gauramukhe Tadang Manantari Pilmanantara Yama Saha Sambigna Manasaha Vishachityan Manantari Pishachaiban Sahito Manantra tatata babita prasadam karayamasa ekasatamam pam surakushvitama rakushvam jam vidate tatra vishajayasya jaushatani jam brahmanon siddhatamanantram shijam salvato by nyabeshayat Rajakaryanui tatra satah salvanuyeva karochajam sah manantri piha saha thaimajinyaha samananta te parirakushvitaha prapute tu divase tasaminan sapatamem divija satatama Kashyapopyagamad vidavam satam Kashyapopyagamad vidavam satam Rajanam Kichita situma Shrutam hitana Dadapudamya Dadapudadyatam Rajasatatama Takushakaha Pananagashira Shutwa Neshuyatem Yamasadanam Tam Tamshatam Tam Tashatam Pananaganandarano Karishuya Hama Bajivarama Karishuya Hama Bajivarama Tatra Meltashachan Taimashachan Pavitati Pichinan Tayana Tam Tadaishan San Naganandarasa Takushakaha Kanshapam Pati Kachachanan Tameka Manasam Devijo Putuvan Payotigaha Tamaburapi Tepananaganandaraha Kanshapam Munipunggavama Kavan Pavam Satavarito Yanti Kim Chan Karyam Jiki Shati Kanshapam Uvanchang Nirupam Kurukulotapananam Parikushvita Marimdamam Takushakaha Pananagashira Tejasanadiyam Ratakushuyati Tam Dashitam Pananaganandarano Denagani Samatejasanam Manandavanam Kulakaram Rajanamami Taujasama Kachachami Saumya Devaritam Sadhyaha Kaituma Pajivarama Takushakan Uvanchang Aham San Takushako Brahmam Satam Takushuyami Mahipatima Nivaltasavana Shakatasatavam Mayang Tashatam Chikitasittuma Kanshapam Uvanchang Aham Tam Nirupatim Nagatavaya Tashatamapajivaramu Karishuya Iti Me Buddhatilvidya Balamupashiritaha Wow. Namaste. Wow. Little break. Alright, maybe not a long break before I finish the translation. Because without the translation, the knowledge is incomplete if you don't understand Sanskrit. Okay, I'm gonna read the translation and then take a break. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Sauti said, and Shiragangi then replied to his father, saying, whether this be an act of rashness, O father, or an improper act that I have done, whether thou likest it or dislikest it, the words spoken by me shall never be in vain. O father, I tell thee, this can never be otherwise. I have never spoken a lie, even in jest. And Changamika said, dear child, I know that thou art of great prowess and truthful in speech. Thou hast never spoken a falsehood before, so that thy curse shall never be falsified. The son, even when he attaineth to age, should yet be always counseled by the father, so that crowned with good qualities he may acquire great renown. A child as thou art, how much more dost thou stand in need of counsel? Thou art ever engaged in ascetic penances. The wrath of even the illustrious ones possessing the 6 attributes increaseth greatly. O thou foremost of ordinance observing persons, seeing that thou art my son, and a minor too, and beholding also thy rashness, I see that I must counsel thee. Live thou, O son, inclined to peace, and eating of the fruits and roots of the forest. Kill this thy anger, and destroy not the fruit of thy ascetic acts, so. Wrath surely decreaseth the virtue that ascetics acquire with great pains. And then for those deprived of virtue, the blessed state existeth not. Peacefulness ever giveth success to forgiving ascetics. This world and the next are both for the forgiving. Therefore, becoming forgiving in thy temper and conquering thy passions, shouldst thou always live. By forgiveness shalt thou obtain worlds that are beyond the reach of Brahma himself. Having adopted peacefulness myself, and with the desire also of doing good as much as lies in my power, I must do something. Even must I send to that king, telling him, O monarch, thou hast been cursed by my son of tender years and undeveloped intellect. In wrath at seeing thy act of disrespect towards myself. Sauti continued, and that great ascetic, observant of vows, moved by kindness, sent with proper instructions in a disciple of his to King Parikushwit. And he sent his disciple Gaurmukha of good manners and engaged also in ascetic penances, instructing him to first inquire about the welfare of the king, and then to communicate the real message. And that disciple soon approached that monarch, the head of the Guru race. And he entered the king's palace, having first sent notice of his arrival to the servant in attendance at the gate. And the twice-born Gaurmukha was worshipped by the monarch with proper forms. And after resting for a while, he detailed fully to the king in the presence of his ministers the words of Shamika of cruel import, exactly as he had been instructed. And Gaurmukha said, O King of Kings, there is a Rishi, Shamika by name, a virtuous soul, his passions under control, peaceful and given up to heart ascetic devotions, living in thy dominions. By thee, O tiger among men, was placed on the shoulders of that Rishi, observing at present the vow of silence, a dead snake with the end of thy bow. He himself forgave thee that act, but his son could not. And by the letter hast thou today been cursed, O King of Kings. without the knowledge of his father, to the effect that within 7 nights, Henshal Dakushoka died death. And Chanamika repeatedly asked his son to save thee, but there is none to falsify his son's curse. And because he hath been unable to pacify his son possessed with anger, therefore have I been sent to thee, O king, for thy good. And that king of the Kuru race, himself engaged in ascetic practices, having heard these cruel words and recollecting his own sinful act, became exceedingly sorry. And the king, learning that foremost of rushes in the forest had been observing the vow of silence, was doubly afflicted with sorrow. And learning the kindness of the Rashi Shamika and his own sinful act towards him, the king became very repentant. And the king, looking like a very god, did not grieve so much for hearing of his death as for having done that act to the Rashi. And then the king sent away Gaulmukha, saying, "Let the worshipful one be gracious to me." And when Gaulmukha had gone away, the king, in great anxiety, without loss of time, consulted with his ministers. And having consulted with his ministers, the king, wise in counsels himself, caused the mansion to be erected upon one solitary column. And it was well guarded day and night. And for its protection were placed there physicians and medicines and brahmanos skilled in manantras all around. And the monarch, protected on all sides, discharged his kingly duties from that place, surrounded by his virtuous ministers. And no one could approach that best of kings there. The heir even could not go there, being prevented from entering. And when the 7th day had arrived, the best of Brahmanas, the learned Kashyapa, was coming, desirous of treating the king. He had heard all that had taken place, viz., that Dakushoka, the first of snakes, would send that best of monarchs to the vicinage of Yama. And he thought, I will cure the monarch after he is bit by the first of snakes. By that I may have wealth and may acquire virtue also. But that prince of snakes, Dakushoka, in the form of an old Brahmana, saw Kashyapa approaching on his way, his heart set upon curing the king. And the prince of snakes then spake unto that bull amongst Munis, Kashyapa, saying, Whither dost thou go with such speed? What besides is the business upon which thou art intent? And Kashyapa, thus addressed, replied, Dakushoka, by his poison, will today burn King Parikushit of the Kuru race, that oppressor of all enemies. And I go with speed, O amiable one, to cure without loss of time that king of immeasurable prowess, the sole representative of the Banunduva race, after he is bit by the same Dakushoka, like to Agni himself in energy. And Dakushoka answered, I am that Dakushoka, O Brahmana, who shall burn that lord of the earth. Stop thou, for thou art unable to cure one bit by me. And Kashyapa rejoined, I am sure that possessed of the power of learning, going thither I shall cure that monarch bit by thee. It's getting really interesting. Okay. Next is Kalki Purana. I have to read Kalki Purana or else I die. Okay. Taking a break. Well, this is really funny. So I was writing what I'm gonna do, which is reciting Kalki Purana, which is it's even harder than Srimad Bhagavatam at this point. Which I said, previously, Srimad Bhagavatam is the hardest, most difficult Sanskrit literature, period. And now Kalki Purana is like right there, right next to Srimad Bhagavatam, or even harder maybe. It's really, it's just the number of syllables of a word, back to back to back, like 30 syllable the word, after another 30 syllable the word after another, just, yeah. Oof. 20 syllable, 25 at least. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm exaggerating when I say 30, but close enough. Okay. So my point is that it's only 20 shlokas, which is like half of what a normal chapter is for Kalki Purana. Usually, chapter is at least like 35 shlokas, 40 shlokas, somewhere around 40. Today it's 20, half of it. Still hard, very difficult, but it's exponentially therapeutic. Compared to non-Sanskrit things. Among Sanskrit, Kalki Purana is more therapeutic for me right now than, say, Mahabharata or Ramayana. It's on par with Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is healing me more than before. It's more therapeutic now than before, probably because my pronunciation, my Aryan Sanskrit pronunciation has gotten better. So it's more effective for me. Okay. Am I ready? Last one. Kalki Purana. Do I want to need this? Yeah, I think so. Oh. After this, I'm gonna recite World Religion in English. I haven't done that in almost a week. I should do that at least once a week. Because it's fun. Although, if you don't have fun, what's the point of living? And what's fun for me? Fun for me is reading the Quran, reading the Art of War, reading the New Testament and the Old Testament, and reading the Book of Mormon and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the modern day Bible for anyone wanting to be Vaishnavas. Vaishnava means a holy Hindu priest or something like that. Here we go. Oh boy. Namaste. Shukang Upanchang Atang Kalkiha Samalokya Sadasangam Patipiha Saha Samutthaya Pabanande Tam Padya Kya Chamana Dipiha Buddhatam Sambeshya Tam Pikushum Saiva Sharamana Masakaratama 바프라체창 고 파바나트라 마마 파기야 디하 가타흐 브라야쇼 마나반 로케 로카남 바라누아츠 차양 자리는 땅 살바수흐르다흐 볼노 비가타카레마쇼흐 마스카리 유방짱 아함 그렇다 유감 시리샹 다바데샤카람 바라무 다바빌파바비파바미크 쇼놀타미 하가타마 다바질파바비파바미 다바빌파바비파바미 다바빌파바비 다바빌파바비파바비 다바빌파바비파바미 구쇼놀타미하 가타마 니루pan 틸파바는 까라흐 소pan 티트반 무pan 가타흐 소pan 티트반 무pan 가타흐 구쇼노다는도 라반 디앙은갈마 야양 구쇼노다는도 라반 디앙은갈마 야양 구쇼노다는도 라반 디앙은갈마 야양 라치탐 트바양 바쿠쇼 호랑 드라마 사툴 살투 삼바트 사라유강 다야흐 바쿠쇼 호랑 드라마 살투 삼바트 사라유강 다야흐 바쿠쇼 호랑 드라마 살투 바쿠쇼 호랑 드라마 살투 삼바트 사라유강 다야흐 다베쿠쇼 양 자라는 디에테 마나바시짱 짜툴다샹 스바 야문 푸바스투 프라타마스 따따흐 스바 로치쇼 마누흐 드로티양 우드타마스 따스마 짜툴 타스마 따스땅 마사흐 우드타마스 따스마 짜툴 타스땅 마사흐 드로티양 우드타마스 따스마 짜툴 타스땅 마사흐 우드타마스 따스마 짜툴 타스땅 드로티양 우드타마스 따스마 짜툴 타스땅 마사흐 스머르타흐 반짜모 라이바타흐 쇼셔터시짱 구쇼셔흐 바리길 티타흐 바이바스바타흐 사브타모 바이 따타흐 사발누이라슈터마흐 나바모 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 사발누이 가스 따따흐 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 사발누이 따스 따따흐 나바모 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 사발누이 가스 따따흐. It's really hard. 나바모 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 사발누이 가스 따따흐 누이 다크셔 사발누일 브라흐마 사발누이 가스 따따흐 다샤모 달마 사바누이 리까 다샤흐 니레까 누일레까 발누이 다샤모 달마 사발누이 레까 다샤흐 달마사 발누이 레까 다샤흐 상 우지아테 루드라사 발누이 가스타트란 마눌바이 드바 다샤흐 스무르타흐 따라요 다샤 마눌베당 사 발누일 로카 비슈르타흐 따라요 다샤 마눌베당 따라요 다샤 마눌베다 사 발누일 로카 비슈르타흐 까비슈르타흐 따라요 다샤 마눌베다 사 따라요 다샤 마눌베다 사 발누일 로카 까비슈르타흐 따라요 다샤 마눌베다 사 발누일 로카 비슈르타흐 따라요 I'll do the whole stroke again. I'm halfway through, barely. 루드라사 발누이 가스타트란 마눌바이 드바 다샤흐 스무르타흐 드라요 다샤 마눌베다 사 발누이 로카 비슈르타흐 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 짜툴다샤는드라 사 발누이 레템 누이레템 짜툴다샤는드라 사 발누이 레템 따바 비푸다야흐 야는티 브라카샤는테 나마루바디 페타타흐 드바다샤 부다사 스레노 나마루바디 베타 나마루바디 페타타흐 나마루바디 베페 Have to read that half shloka again. 야는티 브라카샤는테 나마루바디 페타타흐 Okay. 드바다샤 부다사 스레노 데바나는짱 짜투리유가무 짜트방리 드리누이 드베 짜이감 사스라가누이 담마따무 따바체 차타니 짜트방리 드리누이 드베 짜이감에방히 사는티앙아그라메노 대쇼는뚜 사는티앙 쇼피 따탕아비타흐 Wait, sorry, I should have fixed that chapter. Chapter 5. 에까사부타티감 따트라 유감 봉은 끝에 마눌푸비 마누나마비 살베셔 메밤 바리너 딜 파베트 바리너 딜 파베트 디봉 브라자 파테스타투 브라자 파테스타투 니숑 성 브라킬 티땅 아호랑 따란짱 바꾸셨을 짱 마사 삼바트 살알따바 마사 삼바트 살알따바흐 사두빵 티끄르따흐 깡로 브라흐마노 자드마 모로티우 끄르트 샤타 삼바트 사레 브라흐마 라얌 브라브노티 히트바이 라야는데 드바는나 피마티아 두드티타흐 스르자티 브라푸흐 따트랑 그렇다 유가는 때함 까람 사드 탈마빵 라까무 그렇다 그렇디양흐 브라장 야트랑 자드나 문나 마음 그렇담 비포 이티 자드바짱 슈르티양 가르길 니자자나 버릇다흐 가르길 니자자나 버릇다흐 Brahashomatulam, Labatuvan, Shurutavan, Tadabachana Muratamu, Abahitatan Mupan Lakushuyo, Yugasian Janana Hitana, Yodutukamaha Galeha, Buriam, Horoshodwa, Bishasane, Prapuha, Rajarathaturaganana Ram Shijan, Gajarathaturaganana Ram Shijan Yotana, Ganakabichitra Vipushana Chitangangana, Truti Vivitabas Barasatra Shasatra Pugana, Truti Vivitabaran, Trutta Vivitabaran, Trutta Vivitabara Satra Shasatra Pugana, Trutta Vivitabadan, Trutta Vivitabara Satra Shasatra Pugana, Yuti Nipunana, Gana Yatuvamana Yatuvama. Namaste. That's it. Ho, ho, ho. Wow. Iti Shri Kalki Puran Vanu Bhagavate Bhavishuya Turti Yam Shekurata Yuga Gamanam Nama Panchamotyaya. Surgery, spiritual, the seventh chakra surgery. Okay. Shukan said, Kalki, unseen the mendicant, stood up and along with his assembly chiefs, venerated him by offering Pangadya, Alkya, Jamana, etc. Kalki, after seeing that old ascetic respected by all the 4 ashramas, asked, Who are you? Come here by my good fortune. People who are friends of all, fully satisfied and free from all sins, roam the earth with the sole desire of elevating people. The ascetic replied, O spouse of Lakshmi, I am Gurutayuga. I am your most obedient servant and have come here, and your having taken incarnation in the form of Kalki to have a glimpse of your incarnation and affluence. You are without designation and beyond time limit, but you, because of your Maya, appear to be bound by the divisions of time, that is, Kushono, Danando, Lava, etc. Day and night, lunar phases, months, seasons, years, era, etc., and 14 manus roam in their cycle under your control. Sivayamampuma was the first manu, Sivarojishwa the second manu, Uttama was the third manu, then came the 4th manu, Tamasa. Raivata was the 5th manu, Jakushushu is said to be the 6th manu, 7th was Vaivasavata, while 8th was Sahabalnui. Dakushashavalnui was the 9th manu, then came the 10th Brahmasavalnuika, 11th was known as Taimasavalnuika. Rudrasavalnuika was known as the 12th manu, and 13th was famous as Vedasavalnui in the world. Savalnui, yeah. 14th manu was Inendrasavalnui. In fact, all these manus are shadows of your own opulence, but are known by different names and forms, and come, go, and appear because of your Maya. 12,000 years of the gods form 4 eras. As per calculations, Satya Yuga has 4,000 years, Treta 3,000 years, Dvapara 2,000 years, and Kali 1,000 years. The transitional period for the 4 eras in the beginning and the end are also in the same manner for 400, 300, 200, and 100 years respectively. One manu enjoys for 71 eras on the earth. In this manner, all the 14 manus spend their time. The total period of 14 manus is equal to 1 day of Prajapati, and the same period equals 1 night. Time with the designations of day, night, lunar phases, month, year, and seasons is the cause of Brahma's cycle of birth and death. Brahma merges with you in the 100th year and is reborn from your navel at the end of the deluge and recreates the universe. I am Satya Yuga, wherein religion is observed systematically and public also is active in appropriate deeds only. For this reason, everybody knows me by the name Kurata. Kalki, surrounded by his own people, was extremely delighted on hearing these nectar-like words. Seeing the indication of the arrival of Satya Yuga, Kalki, eager to fight Kali in the city of Vishasana, addressed his followers, the benefactors of the people. Count the elephants, chariots, horses, men, and warriors with bodies decorated with beautiful gold ornaments, bearing various types of excellent weapons and missiles and capable in warfare, and gather them there. Thus ends the 5th chapter in part 3 of Sri Kalki Purana, relating to future happenings of the Lord, entitled Kurata Yuga Gamanam, the arrival of Kurata Yuga, or the peaceful era. I think that's what it says. Let me see how they translated it, if they translated it at all. It says the appearance of Satya Yuga. Okay. So chanting next. I think I'm gonna chant in public today. Also, I have to do that regularly. When it's nice out, when it's above 45 degrees and it's not raining, I should chant for 6 rounds at the Hare Krishna tree regularly. So I'll be, at least like once a week, twice a week, twice or 3 times a week. 3 times a week is enough. Thank you very much. Namaste. So chanting here for about an hour and a half, and then chant at the tree for about an hour. Thank you. Namaste. Chanting in about half an hour. I need to take a break. Namaste. Yeah, this is really, really good for me. Like every time I do my Sanskrit sessions, I heal a little bit, and often it's permanent healing, like incremental, permanent. Hopefully, this incremental healing will lead to some sort of an explosion of healing. I could only hope. Okay, thank you. Namaste. Have a nice day.